class. This is the second page of 5.6, and today we're talking about the factor theorem. When factoring or finding the factors of polynomials, the factor theorem can help you find all the factors of a polynomial. The factor theorem is as follows. The binomial x minus a is a factor of the polynomial f of x if and only if f of a equals 0. So that means that when we do synthetic division, if our last number is 0, then we can further factor down the polynomial. And so that's what we're going to learn to do today. Let's review synthetic division again. So we have our polynomial, and it says given a polynomial and one of its factors, find the remaining factors. Okay, and let me say this first. Since the remainder is 0, x plus 5 is already a factor of the polynomial. All right, and here's the given polynomial right here. So this x plus 5 is a factor, meaning that when we want to break it down further, we set x plus 5 equal to 0, and we solve for x. So we would subtract 5 from both sides. X would be negative 5. That's the input value in the function. And that's the number we're going to use outside here when we do our synthetic division. So you can see that our coefficients are 1, 2, negative 13, and 10. We always drop an arrow down and a line and put the first number underneath the line. We multiply, put our result here, add. Then we multiply again, put our result here, add, multiply a third time, put our result here, add, and notice that we have 0. From there, we're down to, what we do is when we write our answer, we bring our powers down by 1. So this is x squared, which is right here, minus 3x, which is right here, plus 2, which is right here. This can be factored as x minus 2 times x minus 1, because negative 2 times negative 1 gives us 2 and adds to negative 3. So the factored form of our initial polynomial right here is the x plus 5, which was our initial factor, x minus 2, and an x minus 1. And so that's how we're going to write our answers, is in complete factored form. So let's give a few a shot here. We move them up. So one of our factors is given. It is x plus 7. Therefore, we're going to use a negative 7 when we use synthetic division. We check and we make sure our powers go in descending order. 3, 2, 1, 0. So we're good there. Let's write out our coefficients and our a term, which was negative 7. And then we have 1, 15, 71, and 105. Draw a line down from, or arrow down from the 1, then draw a line across, put the 1 under the line, and begin multiplying and adding. Negative 7 times 1 is 7. 15 plus 7 is 22. Negative 7 times, let's see, where did I already go wrong somewhere? Oh, that was negative 7. I'm full of mistakes in this lesson, and I apologize. I'm just going to keep my notes handy. Okay, that's a negative 1 times Negative 7 times 1 is negative 7. 15 minus 7 is 8. Negative 7 times 8 is negative 56. 71 minus 56 is 15. And negative 7 times 15 is negative 105. So we end in 0. Now we're going to take our result and we're going to rewrite this as x squared plus 8x plus 15. So we want to know what multiplies to 15 and adds to 8, which would be a 3 and a 5. They'll both be positive, so we'll have the factors x plus 3, x plus 5, and our initial factor, x plus 7. That's the factored form of this polynomial. On the second one, the powers are going down in descending order. Our a will be negative 3, so we'll put a negative 3 out front. We'll have a 1, negative 4, negative 11, and 30. We'll draw an arrow down from the 1, a line under the arrow, and a 1 under the line. Then we're going to start multiplying and adding. Negative 3 times 1 is negative 3. Negative 4 minus 3 is negative 7. Negative 3 times negative 7 is 21. Negative 11 plus 21 is 10. And negative 3 times 10 is negative 30, which leaves us with 0. Bring our powers down by 1, so we will have x squared minus 7x plus 10. We want to know what multiplies to 10 and adds to negative 7. That would be a negative 2 and a negative 5. So we will have x minus 2, x minus 5, and our initial factor of x plus 3. Okay, let's try another one. They're going to get a little harder in a minute, but y'all can do this. So on our next one, our a will be 2. The powers are going down in descending order, so we'll bring a 2 out front. List our coefficients of 1, 1, negative 10, and 8. Draw an arrow down from the 1, a line under the arrow, and a 1 drop down. 2 times 1 is 2. 1 plus 2 is 3. 2 times 3 is 6. Negative 10 plus 6 is negative 4. And 2 times negative 4 is negative 8. We end in a 0. So that means that that was a factor. Now let's factor it down. So this will now be our x squared plus 3x minus 4. So we want to know what multiplies to negative 4 and adds to positive 3. Well, that would be a 4 and a negative 1. So we will have x plus 4, x minus 1, and our initial factor, we don't want to forget it, of x minus 2. Okay, now the next 3 are going to require us to factor by grouping. We learned that a while back. So this may, hopefully will just be a refresher on that. We'll start with our A is 1. Our coefficients, we check descending power 3, 2, 1, 0, or our powers, excuse me. Our coefficients would be 2, -1, -7, and 6. Let's bring our arrow down, our line, drop our 2 down below the line. 1 times 2 would be 2, -1 plus 2 is 1. 1 times 1 is 1. -7 plus 1 is -6. 1 times -6 is -6. We end in a 0. So our powers now come down by 1. We've got 2x squared plus x minus 6. Now hopefully you'll remember that when we factored, when x was not equal to 1, we labeled our a, which is 2, our b, which is 1, and our c, which was -6. We did multiply a and c together, which is -12. We want to know what multiplies to -12 and adds to 1. That would be a 4 and a -3. So we're going to take out the x and we're going to replace it with a 4x and a -3x. So we'll have 2x squared plus 4x minus 3x minus 6. Let me change colors just to group. So we pair off the first 2. We pair off the sign in the last 2. And now we're ready to pull out our greatest common factor. So of 2x squared and 4x, that would be a 2x, which would leave me with, or leave us with, when we divide by 2x squared by 2x, we get x. When we divide positive 4x by 2x, we get plus 2. Okay, then let's factor out our greatest common factor in our next parenthesis. Remember, you always take the sign, and we can factor out the 3 also. So we're dividing out, excuse me, a -3. -3x divided by -3 is x. -6 divided by -3 is positive 2. So hopefully you can see our factors are going to be 2x minus 3, x plus 2, and our initial factor of x minus 1. Now, there's a way you can check these. You can multiply to check these. That would be pretty intense, but what you would do would be to FOIL the first 2, or multiply the first 2 binomials together, combine your like terms, then take that result and multiply it by the third binomial, and you should end up with 2x cubed minus x squared minus 7x plus 6, if you've done it right. Okay, let's try 2 more examples. So this time our a is -4. Our powers are descending, 3, 2, 1, 0. Our coefficients are 3, -1, -62, and -40. So let's bring down our 3. -4 times 3 is -12. -1 minus 12 is -13. -4 times -13 is 52. -62 plus 52 is -10. Negative 40 times negative 10 is positive 40, which leaves us with 0. We bring our powers down by 1, so we have 3x squared minus 13x minus 10. So we will have, I think I'll just write them up here. A is 3, B is negative 13, and C is negative 10. AC will be negative 10 times 3 will be negative 30. And hopefully you can see that those are the two numbers we're going to use to replace the negative 13 in the middle, because negative 10, no, we're not, I'm sorry, we're not going to do that. It would give us, that would, if we added those, that would give us a negative 30 if we multiplied, but if we added those, would be a negative 7. It looks like we're going to use a negative 15 and a 2. So we're going to use negative 15 and 2. That will add to negative 13 and multiply to negative 30. So we'll have 3x squared minus 15x plus 2x minus 10. Let's group. Let's see here, okay? So we'll group. We can factor out a 3x from our first parenthesis. So 3x squared divided by 3x is x. Negative 15x divided by 3x is negative 5. Then from the second parenthesis, we always want to pull out the sign, so we're going to factor out a positive. The greatest common factor is a 2. So we're going to divide 2x by 2, which will give us x. Negative 10 divided by 2 will give us negative 5. Hopefully you can see that our factors will be 3x plus 2, x minus 5, and our initial factor of x plus 4. So you're not learning any new skills. You're just learning a method to put these skills together. And this will come in very handy when we're trying to build graphs later on. Most likely you'll see the majority of that in college algebra. I know you will. So there is a purpose for this other than just doing it. Okay, it has very beneficial uses. I'll just put it that way. Let's try our last one. So in this one, our A is going to be 1. Our powers are descending. Our coefficients are 14, 1, negative 24, and 9. We're going to bring down the 14. We're going to multiply it by 1, which is 14, and we're going to add 1 and 14 to give us 15. 1 times 15 will give us 15. Negative 24 plus 15 is negative 9. And 1 times negative 9 is negative 9, giving us a 0 at the end. Now what we've got is 14x squared plus 15x minus 9. So our A is 14, our B is 15, our C is negative 9, and our AC, 14 times negative 9 is negative 126. Now, I took and broke these down into prime factors to find the two numbers that multiplied to negative 126 and added to 15. So I'll show you how I did it. You can just try numbers if you want. I've taught y'all how to do that. So what I did was I took, and I knew my bigger factor had to be positive, so when the first prime factor would be a negative 2 and a 63, or we'd have a 3 and a 21. And if you look right here, if you multiply negative 2 times 3, that would be negative 6. 21 minus 6 gives us 15. So we're going to use a negative 6 and a 21 in the middle in place of the 15x. So I'm going to have 14x squared minus 6x plus 21x minus 9. I'm going to pair the 14x squared and the minus 6x. I'm going to pair the plus 21x minus 9. Out of 14x squared and negative 6x, I can factor out a 2x, which will leave me with 7x minus 3. Out of the 21x minus 9, I factor out the plus, and the greatest common factor would be a 3. So 21x divided by 3 would be 7x. Negative 9 divided by 3 would be negative 3. So my factors are 2x plus 3, 7x minus 3, and our initial factor, x minus 1. So there you've learned the factor theorem today. I hope that you will see in the future how useful it is. And until next time, I hope you have a great rest of your day.